Scandinavian, which Rapport did against Sergei Karyakin the other day, some few days ago, and it's a rare thing that he repeats an opening, to tell you the truth. But let's see how it unfolds with this old line. And bishop f4 e6. As we were discussing in the very beginning, or at some time ago, what is the tactics in an Armageddon game, right? So this is what I was expecting, that they are going to be flashing out very fast, quite few moves. And it's the first moment when Nepo was thinking a little bit, playing g4. But this is all theory, so the question is always that how much the players remember also. h4. Actually, this is one of the sharpest line in the Scandinavian. Also after h4, sometimes white is playing rook h3 to defend and control everything on the third rank. At the same time, of course, white played h4 to play h5. And the black bishop will sneak out through e4. That's the plan of the bishop. Bishop d2. That was a long time ago that I was playing these lines myself. And even I played Scandinavian once.
Really?
It was not a very good choice in a playoff game against Swidler, I think, in 2011.
What gave you that idea?
I have no idea. I don't know, somehow in that moment, you know, it's so difficult to get ready for a playoff.
Yeah.
And somehow I felt that I can make it, because I wanted to surprise my opponent. That was the main idea. So knight takes d7, and now king has to take on d7, because after h5, only this way he will be able to move bishop e4. But the king on d7 does not look so outrageous, to be honest, because the c6 and the e6 pawn just controlling the d5 square, so it will be not easy at all for white to open up the position. And actually the rooks are connected on the 8th rank, which is not bad at all. For now it seems like black is more developed, maybe too developed though, with his king on d7. h6, black does not want to allow white to possibly go with g5 and push away his knight. So let's see if he's going to be playing a3, which is just happening, forcing black to take on c3, capturing back. And now the question is whether black, or with the rook. So now it starts to get a little dangerous for Rapport, I believe, but queen c7 is the right square for the queen, I believe, because it can reach out to h2, possibly, queen e2, but it's a question where the king will be going away. So probably rook d8 is kind of a logical continuation, and sneak out the artificial castle going to be done, because it would be much more dangerous for black to go to the king's side, because don't forget that g5 will come eventually. So I have a feeling that Nepo is happy what he got out of the opening.
Yeah, the black king is a serious problem, right?
It can be.
Yeah.
If it opens up, then definitely it can be an issue. Black, I think, wants to go later b5, somehow stop the possibility for white to play c4, because then the black bishop is in big trouble. But after b5, b3 will be on the board, and I don't even know what he will be. And this is it on the board. So the black bishop
position looks very cramped. I mean,
the black bishop can be in huge danger. Huge danger. Things don't look right. I have a feeling we'll have a guest called Nepo somehow, because it looks very, very dangerous for black. Queen h2. I guess after c4, black might be going bishop to h1, but then f3 can be the move. It is extremely dangerous for black. Of course, if white will have not c4 to kill the bishop on d5, or forced to move it, then no, actually after c4, the idea of black, I think bishop g2, but at first yeah, and after f4, queen h4 check, and black is just in time to exchange the bishop. So this is the plan for black. This is how he wants to save his bishop
That's the kind
from
of
being trapped.
tricks that he has to rely on.
Yeah, I would think, well, rook g3, that's what happened. And now it's 2-in-1, cutting out the queen from the diagonal and protecting the square on g2. White is not threatening to go f3 because then the rook would be under attack, and now knight g4 is possible. Rook h3, wow, what a queen sacrifice, look at that. Rook a2, knight f3, just doing similarly as Sergei did against him. Very cool move.
That's
very cool move, because
definitely creative.
definitely in the most unexpected moment. And here, black problem, this is what's happening, because he felt that still, no matter what, he wants to go for this king c1, and of course the main idea for white in any case to go c4, and he went out to c1 because otherwise bishop f3 would be winning the queen. So let's see how things will unfold. I think black has to take the bishop on c1, on f1. Has to eliminate, because white will be able to play c4 in the next move, and black does not want to have trouble with his knight. So let's see how black tries to save.
That was a remarkable sequence from Richard.
Yes, but still, he has to be careful about his bishop a lot. Queen e2, so black still, the only problem black can have is his bishop. But that's a serious issue. So maybe he's going to go b4. Just to stabilize the bishop on d5. But
And then you're even happy with your king on d7.
well, the thing is that after b4, queen d2 should be the unpleasant move, and then black cannot hold on the b4 square because of rook b8 takes and then takes, and queen b4 is taken, and this is what he played. And interestingly enough, not queen d2 but rook chop chop, king b2. So I wonder if there is any practical chance for Nepomniatchi. Of course he has. This is why f6 was played, so the queen to e5 is stopped, but now black can have some dangers through queen d3 and queen g6. That's the thing what he will have to be careful. Actually, I think in the previous move could be a very serious move, but let's see. And I'm afraid queen d3 is coming, and queen h7 will be in the air, and then white is going to play g5, and here some problem can arise for Rapport. Queen h7 is right there, king f8. Though still it's not an easy situation. The rook on a5 is unprotected, but let's see if there is anything concrete. Of course, black could be much better if the rook would be on b5. That would be a much better scenario. But maybe there is nothing going to be here problem for black. I don't know. It looks scary, but maybe it will be not enough for white. Look, everything is protected for black. Everything is protected.
Still, it looks scary. Yeah.
It does look scary. So what white is doing, exchanging the pawns. Later on, probably he will exchange those pawns as well and start coming with his king. But
yeah, so
but
the
I'm
question
not
is,
sure
is this a
will win.
fortress or is this not?
Yes, exactly. Actually, it could be some Zugzwang kind of thing. For example, now king c1. Yeah, this is the problem for black. And it's Zugzwang because he cannot move with his rook. He cannot move with his bishop. So he will have to move his king. Then he gets a check. Or king d2. But now rook b8 is possible. But then the white king is going to be moving ahead. Though black does not need his pawn on e6. So there is a good chance that he will give and play bishop e4. Well, king f4 wouldn't be a very good move now because e5 loses the king, the queen. But of course, on this level, they don't blunder such a tricks.
Almost looks like we ended up in one of your favorite studies, Jude. I mean, there's many unusual things here.
It's extremely interesting. At the same time, just for your information, Magnus is having a very difficult time because that's going to be a queen-rook endgame. Sergei having a queen. But we finished this game because it's still too exciting to switch. So queen e8, the question is whether can black hold the position or he will not be able to hold the position.
And time also becomes a factor. I mean, it's...
Black is down,
yeah.
1:23. Still white has 4 minutes and 20 seconds. And the players are receiving 1 second only from move 41. This is move 46. And now white will break through with king to f4. But I think black will try to get his rook from the back. So he will be trying to play rook a1. But then, of course, this b4 pawn gets vulnerable. And I have a feeling that this should win for white. Though probably after king f4, black wants to go rook f7 check. To play this and somehow to stabilize the position, maybe. But let's say white played queen e8, queen b8, grabbing the pawn on b4, and this can be a huge problem, but rook a2, king d3, not giving up the pawn on c2, definitely not. And this is a big problem for black because once the b4 pawn is grabbed, already after that c4 comes, the stable bishop on d5 cannot hold itself. So now that's why the h5 pawn is attacked. So Rapport is looking for counter chances, and he's completely right doing so. So it's still not easy for white at all. This is not going to be easy for Nepomniatchi to score the full point. Definitely not. The threat is bishop c2 right now. So let's see if he will be able to somehow to protect his pawn. Queen a3, rook h2, I guess. Or rook b1. Still the threat is bishop c2. Rapport is already under a minute.
But fighting.
Fighting, and he will not give his skin easily, for sure. But now, of course, black starts to come with his king, and then later on he will be pushed g5, g4 as quickly as possible. And by the way, taking the pawn on b3, I guess. That white won, Karyakin won.
Wow, that's a big one.
So let's see what is the situation. g5 check, king e5, king will go to f6, I guess. King h5, black is fighting very hard. Unfortunately, d5 is there, and black just played rook f1, which was very good because now d takes e6 is not possible to discover check, so white is escaping with his king all the way to g7, just get out of all discovered checks. And now black will have his rook on the d file later, so not to allow white to push his pawn on the d file. So rook d1 just played. The f5 bishop stands extremely good. Maybe the king will come back to f6 to attack it. And
but it doesn't look too promising for black, does it? Yeah, just finish.
So king g4 is just played. Bishop e4, queen e6, king f4. d6, bishop f5 is just there, queen e4, queen c4 check, but I guess no, queen e2. And black, they could not take the pawn because of queen h2, right? Collecting the rook. There are too many pawns today, it seems. And g4, b7, there's not enough rooks, not enough pieces to stop for Rapport all the past pawns. So we have a winner, Nepomniatchi won.